So for today's recipe, you're going to need about 40 Marie biscuits, 200 grams of condensed milk, 200 ml of fresh cream, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Now I'm going to begin by crushing or breaking the Marie biscuits into smaller bits. And I'm just going to crush it up to a very fine powder. Now you could do this in a mixer too. So you got to get this, sand-like consistency. This is what we're looking for. Because this is also called sawdust pudding, so it should look like sawdust or sand. Now I'm going to start whisking the fresh cream for about 10 minutes. You don't want, stiff peaks or anything. We just want it to whisk it for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to add the vanilla essence and again give it a good whisk so that the cream and the vanilla essence, gets really well blended. Now I'm going to add the condensed milk. Now I do have a recipe for homemade condensed milk. I'll leave it in the description box below. You can go and check it out. Now again whisk everything nicely together for at least another 5 minutes. Now I'm going to pour this mixture into a jar which has got a small little pouch, so that way it's easier for me to pour it into these glasses. Now you can take glasses of any size, and we're going to first make a layer of the biscuit that we've crushed. Then we're going to pour this mixture. Then we're going to put the biscuits, the crumbs, and then repeat the process with every alternating layer. Now, one tip I'd like to give you here is every time you pour the mixture that we prepare, that is the condensed milk, just put it into your freezer for about 10 minutes and then put the biscuit mixture. That way the biscuit mixture will actually stay on top of the condensed milk mixture and it won't get mixed up. So that's a small little tip here, that you just put it into the freezer for about 5 or 10 minutes till it sets. And then you're just going to refrigerate it till you're ready to serve it, and your Serradura pudding or sawdust pudding is all ready. So I hope you like this recipe. Do give it a try. Let's start with today's easy bread pudding recipe. So let me take you through the ingredients. Now for the caramel syrup, I've taken 4 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of water. Here I have 2 eggs. This is 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. This is about half a cup of powdered sugar. These are about 8 slices of bread that I've just made into a fine powder in my mixer. Now I'm going to be using a steamer today to make this, and I also require 1.5 cup of milk. So first we're going to make the caramel. Now for the caramel, I've just taken a saucepan, preferably a non-stick saucepan. I've just added my sugar and my water, given it just one mix, and then I've just let the sugar and the water dissolve. You don't need to stir after this. Keep it on a low to medium flame, and you will see that the sugar just starts to caramelize and turn into this beautiful dark golden brown color. Just keep an eye on it though, but don't stir it. And the minute you see the edges of the syrup starting to become golden brown, then you just give it a shake just move the vessel and stir it just a bit, and then just put it into this dish into which you're going to make the caramel. And then what I like to do is to get it evenly spread, I just put it on my gas flame and let it melt so that it evenly coats the base of the dish in which I'm going to make it. Now I'm just going to beat the eggs in a large bowl. I'm going to add my vanilla essence, give that a good mix. Then I'm going to add my powdered sugar. I've just taken regular sugar, put it into my mixer or blender and just given it a blitz. See that everything is well mixed together. Now I've used slices of bread. You can also use pav, that's available. Now just add the milk and again give it a mix. Now you can tear up the bread or the pav with your fingers and make it into a very fine into crumbly form. But what I like to do is I like to put it into my mixer and give it a blitz. That way you get a very even and smooth texture, and you don't get like lumps of bread in the pudding. So now I'm just going to add this, and I've used brown bread. You can use white bread. Generally at our place we like to have whole wheat brown bread, so I've just taken the slices. You can even use leftover bread also, and then just give everything a very good mix. Now our caramel has already set into the dish. I've just used a regular baking dish, so you can see that it's actually solidified. So now I'm just going to pour my mixture over the caramel. And now I've already kept my steamer for boiling. I've just put the dish into the steamer and I've covered it with a lid. I've closed up my steamer and I'm going to cook this on a high flame for 15 minutes. I've actually kept my timer on and I'm going to cook it for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to let the steamer completely cool down. So I can, it's becomes cool enough that I can handle, I can touch the steamer. And then I'm just going to check on the bread pudding. I'm just going to take a knife, insert it, and when it comes out clean, I know my pudding is done. Now I have to transfer this to my refrigerator and let it completely cool down for about 2 to 3 hours. So I'm again going to cover it and put it into my refrigerator for 2 to 3 hours before I demold it. And now we're ready to demold it. So I've just taken a knife and just run it through the edges. And then I'm just going to put my plate on top of it and invert it. Then I'm just going to tap on it gently till you can actually feel that the pudding has, loosened up from the dish. And you can just demold it. And you can see the pan has also come out quite clean. And I've just transferred it to a clean plate. And I just poured whatever little caramel was there in the side of the other plate onto the top of this. And I can, you can cut it up immediately, or you can even, chill it further and then cut it up. And then you get this beautiful slices of bread pudding. So we're going to be using about 200 grams or 2 cups of rava or semolina. I'm using the fine rava. I'm going to be using 200 grams or 2 cups of regular white sugar, 100 grams of butter at room temperature, 50 grams of freshly grated coconut, a teaspoon of elaichi powder or cardamom powder, 50 ml or half a cup of thick coconut milk, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 4 eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. I will list all the ingredients in my description box below. Now we're going to beat in the vanilla into the eggs. We're going to whisk it in well. Now in a large bowl, I'm going to put this egg and vanilla mixture first. To that, I'm going to be adding my sugar, and I'm going to be whisking this very well till everything gets well incorporated. Now we are going to add the butter, which is at room temperature. It has to be really nice and soft. So we'll add in our butter. Now also line a cake tin, a 7 by 7 inches cake tin with some parchment paper or butter paper. Whisk everything well. You can use an electric mixer or you can use a hand mixer. Now I'm also adding my elaichi powder and cardamom powder at this time. and I'm going to whisk this mixture for about 5 whole minutes. Now I've ground this coconut coarsely in a mixer. We don't want a paste, but we want a coarse mixture. So I'm going to add this freshly grated coconut, which I have just blitzed in my mixer. Fold it into this mixture. Next, we're going to be adding this thick coconut milk. This gives a real good flavor to the coconut or cake or the Baath. Now we're going to add in all of our semolina or rava. Mix it in well. And now all we have to add is just 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So I'll add the baking powder, and then we're just going to cover up this mixture and let it sit aside for 1 entire hour. You can put a timer on your phone or your watch and just let this mixture sit in a nice cool dark place for about 1 entire hour. Cover it and keep it aside, and after an hour you will see that the mixture has all come together and it thickens up like this. It becomes a nice thick batter, like a cake batter. At this time you can preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Pour this entire batter into this cake tin, and then we're just going to bake it for 45 minutes or even 30 minutes, all depending upon your oven. I mean, everybody's oven is different, but when you insert a knife into it, it should come out really clean. That shows that your Baath or your coconut cake is completely ready. So as you can see, the knife has come out really clean. So now keep this cake aside for about 10 to 15 minutes till it has completely cooled down. And only then we are going to cut up this cake into slices or squares as you desire. Normally they are thick squares, but you can cut it up as you like. But only ensure that your mixture has actually cooled, your cake has actually cooled down before cutting it up. And this Baath has a very long shelf life also. If you store it in an airtight container, it can last for about 2 to 3 weeks. You can refrigerate it in the nights, and again when you want to serve it, just keep it out for about an hour before serving. You can also warm it up in the microwave so it becomes nice and hot, and it tastes really good that way. So friends, I hope you like this recipe. You can see that the Baath has become a beautiful golden brown color. So if you like this recipe, do leave your comments in the comment box below. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Do subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button that you see below this video. And once you have subscribed, don't forget to click the little golden bell so that every time I upload a new video, you'll get a notification of the same. Share my recipes with family and friends. Visit my channel. I've got more than 200 recipes and a load of Christmas recipes. And I'll catch you in my next video. This is Akshata saying bye. Take care guys. Until we meet again. See ya. Okay friends, let's see today's delicious Cocoda recipe. It's really simple, just 2 or 3 ingredients. So now first I'm going to get my tender coconut ready. So I go to my coconut guy and I ask him just to give me the best coconut that he has with a lot of malai in it. Now if you have your own coconut trees, then you know how to cut a tender coconut. So basically, you got to get really lovely malai from the tender coconut, and don't waste the water. The water is also delicious. So I was just taking a clip of my regular coconut guy, cutting the tender coconut, especially for people in Mumbai who don't really have access to coconut trees. So write down in the comments. I would love to know whether you have your own tender coconut trees at home, and you know that's really a big blessing. So now I just asked him to get the water off and then to cut the coconut in such a way that I can easily scoop out, the tender part of the coconut. So now I got the coconut home and I gave it a thorough wash in my colander, and then I'm just going to cut it up into strips because generally this cocada is in strips. So I'm making it a little smaller. Take a nice sharp knife, and I got about a cup of tender coconut. So now I'm going to prepare my sugar syrup. So I've taken 1 cup of regular sugar, to which I'm going to add about half a cup of water, and I'm going to mix this really well together on a low to medium heat, stirring continuously. Now we don't want to make a very thick sugar syrup or a pak like we would for gulab jam. We just want to stir it till it starts to thicken. So I put a timer on my phone and it took me about 3 minutes. Once it starts to thicken, just add this tender coconut that we've cut up, and you're going to cook this on a low to medium flame, stirring continuously, and you will see after about a minute or two it starts bubbling into this white kind of a liquid, and just keep on cooking it till most of the liquid is absorbed. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of food color. Now this is completely optional. The reason I'm adding food color is that I did not get my hands on colored wax paper, so I'm just using regular butter paper that I have. So if you can get colored wax paper, then you can leave it white. That's how it is traditionally eaten. That's how it looks traditionally, but I do not have color paper, so I went with pink gel color. So this is how it looks. So when it comes to this stage, turn off the heat because it will crystallize immediately. So don't try to dry it up too much. It should be of this semi solid gel kind of a consistency. And then you're just going to transfer this onto the butter paper or the wax paper if you get your hands on it, and let it cool down completely. So I just put it in a bowl so that I don't mess up the place, and I put the butter paper in the center, and I just put scoops full of it, and it crystallizes almost immediately, and after 5 minutes you can just enjoy this lovely sweet. So do try out this recipe. It is amazing. It's so delicious. Everyone at home just loved it. The tender coconut and the sugar syrup combination is just perfect, and it's a melt in the mouth sweet. So I hope you like this recipe, guys. I'll catch you soon. This is Akshata signing off. Bye. So let's start with today's delicious Goan sweet buns made with whole wheat flour. So let's go through the ingredients. Now here I have 1 ripe banana. This is 1 cup of whole wheat flour, the flour that we use to make our chapatis, not the maida. This is about 4 tablespoons of dahi or yogurt, which is homemade. I'll leave a recipe of how I make the curd at home. This is about 1/4 cup of sugar. You can use it as per your taste. You can lessen it or increase it. This is 1 teaspoon of sof or fennel seeds. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. This will help the buns rise. 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi, and half a teaspoon of ova or ajwain. Even this elevates the taste. And just a pinch of salt. So now I've taken a bowl and I'm going to peel the banana. The banana has to be a little bit ripe, not raw at all. And now we're just going to mash it up with a fork. It doesn't have to be overripe. It just has to be ripe that you can eat it. Now mash it up well with a fork. Now I'm going to add half the quantity of the sugar. And I'm going to mash it up well. Next, I'm going to add the remaining quantity of the sugar. Then just a pinch of salt. Next, I'm going to add the baking soda, mix it in well, then goes in the turmeric, then the fennel seeds and the ova. So now mix all of this really, really well. And now we're just going to do a taste test just to see if we need to adjust the salt, the sugar. I needed to add a little bit of sugar, so in total I added about a quarter cup of sugar. Next I'm going to go with the curd. Mix all of this really well. Now we're not going to add a single drop of water. Again, do a taste test before you add the flour, and once you're convinced about the taste, then you add the whole wheat flour. Now mix it in really, really well. And now we're going to just knead this into a nice soft yet firm dough. I just added about 4 tablespoons more of flour, so just adjust it as per your the flour, because all flours are a little bit different in consistency, and we want a nice firm dough like a puri dough. And then we're going to set this aside and cover it and let it rest for 8 hours. It's very important that you keep it aside for 8 hours. You can refrigerate it also for 8 hours, or just keep it in a nice cool dark place. Now after 8 hours, everything has come together and it is set really well. And now I'm just going to make small line-sized balls. Now with 1 banana and 1 cup of whole wheat flour with, just about 4 tablespoons more, I got exactly 15 sweet buns. So now I've kept some oil for heating, about 2 cups of oil for deep frying. Now I'm going to roll out the balls. And as I roll them out, I'm going to then keep a plate or a thali at the side and place them, a little apart from each other so that they don't stick to each other. So just place them on the thali so that you have all your puris ready before you start frying, so you don't have to concentrate on the rolling out of the buns and the frying. So keep them all ready. And then all you have to do is just deep fry them on a low to medium flame till they nicely puff up like this and become golden brown in color. So when you're frying them, just keep an eye on them. Don't let them get burned. Don't let them, get absorbed too much of oil. So just immediately when they puff up, just turn them around and then, put them on some tissue so that all the excess oil gets drained up. Now your oil has to be really nice and hot for them to nicely puff up. And they should be nice and golden brown like this. The turmeric also helps in giving a lovely golden brown color. And in this way, just fry all the remaining puris or the sweet buns. And this is such a delicious evening tea time snack. It goes so well with a nice hot cup of tea. Of course, it goes best with Goa bananas, but they're not available here in Mumbai. I mean, they're available, but at very select places and not at all times. But the Goa banana, of course, has its own beautiful taste. So if you can get your hands on that, use that. And here it is, our lovely Goan sweet buns are all ready. They've nicely puffed up. And they're really delicious. Let me just break one to show you all. And you can see how nice and double layered they are and hollow in the middle. And it's fried also very well. So do try out this recipe, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. This is Akshata signing off. Bye.